a warm welcome from Accenture and Syncron on this special event that has been in the making for, I would say, together with the marketing team for a while, for the last 2 months. We're planning to do it a bit earlier in the expo season, but quite frankly, with let's say all the details and also getting the spot free, we managed to get it towards the end of the. Yeah, happy that we could make it, and as you know, the next in 3 weeks' time, Expo will be over. Unfortunately, it's a special venue. It's a beautiful Accenture office, as you can see, because also for us as Accenture, we have been a key partner for the Expo 2020, let's say, event. From actually 6 years ago, we started working with them on all the digital assets, the digital infrastructure. So from ticketing, from the apps, everything on the back, we have also not only designed, but we're operating it for Accenture Expo. So it's really that kind of experience that we generally also bring to our clients. We are a digital partner, and that's why we also partner with companies like Syncron, and definitely in the automotive space. We love to work together because they're specialists in their domain, and we are more than happy to be part of that journey as well together. So thank you very much for being here. Let me just briefly talk about Accenture. And I know, it's some airtime, but I'm pretty sure that also Tony and the team, Syncron team, will elaborate a bit more on Syncron itself. So Accenture, probably for you all known as a big firm. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. It's one of the largest advisory consulting, management consulting companies in the world. Revenue-wise, 44 billion, more than almost 600,000 FTE across more than 200 offices. It's a massive organization in that space. But what not a lot of people know is what we do exactly in the automotive space. And it's more than you think. And I think this probably also partially my role and the Accenture mobility team, and Urs will be talking a bit about that later on as well, to introduce ourselves to you and also show our capabilities moving forward.
Okay, let me introduce myself, why this technology is happening. My name is Tony Abouzolof. I am the co-founder of the Syncron group. Syncron started almost 25 years ago at the university lab at CIT, myself and a few friends. We started the dream of developing a supply chain solution to manage inventories across the supply chain. And my university professor said to me then, Tony, you're not good enough in statistics. You're never going to make it. And I'm very, very happy that almost 30 years ago, I proved him wrong. Syncron now is a global organization with over 200 enterprise customers globally using our solutions. And they are the best brands out there. The best of the best come to us. And they learn from us, but we're learning a lot from them. So that's who I am. My background is I'm a mathematician, statistician, what nowadays they call data scientists, a new term. So I worked quite extensively in aftermarket supply chain over a 30-year period. My presentation, the first part of my presentation, I will like to look forward a little bit into where I see the aftermarket going for automotive for the next 10, 15 years. But then the second part of my presentation will be primarily focusing on today's challenges and how you can turn your today's challenges into opportunities for growth, for better profitability, and better customer satisfaction. So I will do it reversely. Look forward, then look at today. Let's see if technology will help me here. Right. The automotive industry has been going along nicely for 50 years, doing the same thing again and again. And suddenly, four major disruptions come at the same time. And Urs explained some of those: electrification, mobility, connected vehicles, etc. But they all hit at the same time. And basically it's due to the technological advancements that this has happened. And this is impacting so many different industries, but in a major way, the automotive industry. And also, those advancements are changing the way we work, the way we communicate, and the way we consume products. I'm old enough to know, I used to buy CDs and tapes to watch videos or to listen to music. And I still have a big stack of them in my house. Nowadays, my kids stream everything. You don't buy anything, you stream. You pay a subscription-based model where you subscribe to a service and you stream it online. And we have so many other examples. The way we work. The last 2 years, I've been stuck in an apartment with Zoom and with Teams, running projects and meeting 5 different companies in 10 different countries in sort of one day. So that has changed the way we work, but also the way we consume products. So technology has helped with all of that. This is important. The shift from ownership, and I think the presentation mentioned that, the shift from ownership to service is really shaping the future of automotive going forward. Consumers will want to consume the outcome of the product rather than purchase the vehicle. You know, purchasing a vehicle is the second largest investment any one of us will do in our lifetime. You know, buying a house is one, then purchasing a vehicle. This will not be the case going forward. Going forward, there will be a consumption of the use of the product. And the previous presenter described how this will evolve in the coming years. Now, in this shifting way going forward, there will be some winners, there will be some losers. Not everyone will make it. Not everyone will make the shift from selling a product to selling a service. Some of the companies will make it, some of the companies will not make it. There will be new players coming into the market, and it will be interesting to see in this part of the world what will be the OEM's role, what will be the distributor dealer role in this shifting environment. So lots of questions, but very few answers regarding this new business model going forward, especially in the relationship between the OEM, the dealer, and the consumer. Now, with this new business model come lots of new challenges, And I don't know if any of you have done this. I'm sure most of you have done this here in this part of the world. The logo of the company, of the car, is not there. I don't know how our marketing people managed to get the logo out. I didn't want to upset anyone here, so the logo is not appearing. But right, with this new business model, lots of new challenges will come. And I've already mentioned some of them, that some of the players will actually make it, some of the players will not make it. And we believe that new players will enter the market, whether there will be organizations that will offer the platform, whether it's going to be fleet operators. We believe it's going to be primarily fleet operators that will pick up this opportunity and will maximize their business. Now, whether some of those big conglomerates which operate in this part of the world will become the mobility providers, will become the fleet operators, will it be new players? It depends. You have to be agile enough to pick up this opportunity. But there will be lots of new challenges. And as I've said repeatedly, many will not make it, some will make it, but the opportunity is very, very large. Now, one of the things that we have to realize in a subscription-based model, the risk and the cost of maintenance shifts from the consumer to the OEM or the dealer of the OEM. At the moment, if you purchase a vehicle and it breaks down, you have to pick up the bill. You know, and I've been old enough to have owned lots of different old cars over the years where I had some hefty bills to pay for servicing my vehicle. Something is breaking and I have to fix it. Now, if you start consuming the service, obviously you're not interested in any of that. The OEM or the dealer or the fleet operator, whoever will manage that will offer that service, will be responsible, will have the risk of maintaining and the cost of the servicing. And we believe three things are needed in order to offer something like that. Obviously, it's the equipment itself, it's the service, as well as all the digital tools to make that happen. So there is a huge shift here in the risk and ownership of the cost of that maintenance from the customer, the consumer, towards the OEM, the dealer, the fleet operator, whoever that is going to offer that service. Now, we at Syncron, what we have been doing the last 5 years or so, we have been mapping this transition and we have put it into 4 phases. We call it the reactive phase, which is where we are now. We call it the break-fix model or the purchase break-fix model. And slowly companies will transition from reactive to preventive, to predictive, and finally to product as a service. And this we have tested with many of our customers, many of the leading consultants. This is the transition they see. And what we have done as Syncron, because we are an IT organization, we're a technology organization, we have mapped and we have our products and all our R&D spend to fit that transition. So we offer solutions in the different parts, different phases of this transition. Some of our solutions are here, where we help optimize inventories, optimize pricing, and shifting more towards this, where we have solutions which we call uptime, where we pick up sensor information from the equipment, we analyze the sensor information, we plan predictive maintenance, etc., etc. So all the Syncron R&D spend now for the last 5 years, and also in the next 5-10 years, will be to offer solutions to help organizations now, but also transition them into this world. And I hope our gamble will work, will be worth it, because when you're developing products, it's a long-term investment. To deliver something 3-4 years down the road, you need to start earlier. So hopefully our vision for where the business will go will actually prove to be right, and our R&D investment will pay back. And this is what we are saying as an organization. We empower leading automotive OEMs and distributors to capitalize on this world new service economy. And we empower the today. It's very important to focus on the today, because we are still on today. You know, the vision we're talking about, it's a few years down the road. So we empower the today. We have solutions which can help you optimize your business today, make you more profitable, improve revenues, capture the current opportunity, but also preparing you for the tomorrow. The subscription-based product as a service world which will come. And we think that this transition will take time. It will not suddenly happen. Both business models will coexist. Initially now, 99% of the business model is the current business model, and slowly will evolve. In some markets, it will evolve faster than others. It depends on the OEM, whether they're going to make the vehicles connected and all of that. There is legislation to be taken, who owns the data, etc. So there are lots of things to happen over the next few years for this model to work. So in some countries, in some regions will be faster, in some others less so, etc. So that's really where we are and what we try to do, try to help you today and empower, and also enable you to prepare for the future. Now, I want to switch more on today, on now, on the current aftermarket, today's aftermarket opportunity today. There's no secret that the OEMs and the dealers really struggle to capture the out of warranty revenue stream. And this is something I'm sure you've been battling with yourselves for years and years, and you don't wait for me to explain how to do that. But they obviously do lots of different initiatives in order to capture that, but really this is a struggle for most of us to capture the out of warranty stream, and there are lots of other players trying to capture that. Now, if you compare automotive to other verticals are doing better. For example, if you look at aerospace, they capture up to 75% of their business following the warranty period. If you look at fixed assets, elevators, etc., which are fixed, then they capture up to 45%. In the automotive, it's still maximum 30%. Some businesses are better, up to 30%, some are lower, up to 15%. So there is here a huge opportunity to be captured. Today, huge opportunity to be captured in aftermarket. And we, Syncron, in a small way, we can help you a little bit with capturing some more of that opportunity. And this is what we have been doing the last 25 years, helping our automotive customers capture a bit more of that business. How do we do that? Obviously, we have developed different solutions for, we call supply chain solutions, help you with inventory. Obviously, if you have the right products, the right place, the right availability, you will use them, you will sell them. Your customers will not go somewhere else. And that comes into two shades. One is managing also your own inventory. One is collaboration between OEMs and dealers for managing inventories of dealer locations. Then we develop solutions for pricing, optimize your pricing to make sure that you set up the right prices for your parts. It's not good enough to only have the inventory. You need to have the inventory and the right price. If you don't have the right price, you will not sell the parts. You have to manage both the pricing and the inventory together. And there are very strong synergies. It's pretty obvious. If you overprice yourself out of the market, then obviously your business will suffer. And this is happening quite a lot. We have just finished a project in KSA, a pricing project in KSA, and the local distributor there had, in a way, priced themselves out of the market. They have seen their revenues come down quite significantly the last 4 or 5 years, and they priced themselves out of the market. They were getting, obviously, the cost from the OEM. They were using cost plus as a technique. The cost is 10, I will add 20% margin, I will sell it. And they've been doing that for years. And with a quick study which we did, they realized that they're actually buying the parts at higher cost than what their competitors selling the same parts. So how can they make a business out of this? So it's not enough having the right inventory, you need to have the right pricing strategy. And pricing strategy, sometimes you need to increase the prices, sometimes to reduce the prices. It's not always about increasing it. So solutions for helping you capture the current opportunity, but also solutions for the future. Contract pricing, for example, we have been working on that for the last 4 years or so. How do you price a product as a service? This is such a complicated calculation, How do you price someone which wants to use a vehicle to go from A to B and use it only for a few hours? How do you put a pricing model for that? It's very complicated. For your information, most of the companies which offer now the scooters you pay as a use or the bikes, all those are loss-making businesses. all of them loss-making businesses, all over Europe, all over the world. They make a big loss because the pricing is not right for those services. So we work on contract pricing to come up with a solution to help you price your product as a service. And obviously, the jewel in the crown is this uptime solution, which we have been developing using AI and machine learning technology to pick up sensor information from the equipment, the connected equipment, using advanced analytics to identify failures, to identify any problems, to plan maintenance events, preventing maintenance events, etc., etc. So some of the solutions you can use now to capture the existing aftermarket opportunity, and some to help you with the new business model, the product as a service. We recently also acquired an organization, so we added warranty and field service into our portfolio. And obviously strong synergies between all of those different technologies. At the heart of the solution is the machine learning and the AI based. And here I've divided it into sort of two areas. One is machine learning, which is all about statistical and pattern recognition, identifying a pattern using the data. And we're talking about masses of data here now. Lots of people collecting data, but they don't know what to do with it. This is using machine learning to identify patterns on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, using AI from identifying a pattern to actually automate some sort of a decision. And in obviously all the solutions, we have some machine learning and AI technology. I will just pick up one or two. For example, when you have in the uptime, when you have a connected vehicle and a connected machine, then by pattern recognition, you can start identifying maybe some anomalies. Something is from the sensor information, from using IoT, you can identify some anomalies. And this anomaly detection can drive a decision that you do some sort of a recommendation for an inspection. Or if you try to identify that potentially there's a prediction for a failure, then obviously, then you actually do some sort of a preventive or predictive maintenance event. So, and there are lots of examples, and some stuff we have already developed, some stuff obviously we're still working on. And this will evolve in the next few years. So we have an army of data scientists exactly working with this technology. Now, I like a lot to talk about supply chain, and I love this slide. Maybe it's too busy. I call it the progressive inventory planning maturity curve. And as we deploy our solutions, we take customers from the bottom left there and try to bring them always to the top here. And there is a lot of technology, but there's a lot of best practice which we bring together with our solution. And here we start initially with master data. It's quite amazing how many companies still struggle with this master data. Whether it's about products, suppliers, sales transactions, back orders, all of that stuff. People really struggle with that. You would think that with the implementations of ERPs that they've got that sorted, but no, the answer is not. Sometimes we ask customers to provide us a sample data to see the quality of their data, and it's still a big, big hassle. They haven't sorted it out. They think because they've implemented ERP, they've dealt with the master data, but that's not the case. So we start with that. We move more into automatic part segmentation, ABC analysis, XYZ analysis based on cost of movement, demand pattern classification, fast-moving items, slow-moving items, different stocking policies for service parts, body parts, etc. And then we move further into more advanced stuff, like advanced inventory planning, where we analyze lead times to see how good the supplier is. Different demand streams. This is quite often the case here. Most businesses have a retail business. They've got maybe a bulk business, export business, etc. So that we deal with that with demand streams. They behave differently, obviously, and we need to have the right solution for that. Life cycle of the parts or life cycle of the equipment for planning and forecasting, etc., etc. And then we try to move those organizations up this maturity curve, not only by deploying technology. Technology is one thing, is the best practice, and how we configure in order to make sure that they utilize the solution best. And in this part of the world, skill level, it's an issue. It's a big issue which we have found from our experience. By the way, we have been in this part of the world for over 20 years. We did our first deployment here 20 years ago, so we have learned so much about this region. And so skills is a challenge. So we bring best practice with it and knowledge transfer. Obviously, AI and machine learning to improve forecast accuracy, automate lots of the processes, which takes away sometimes the need for skilled people because we automate processes, manage by exception, etc. And finally, obviously, with the inventory maturity is where we have the connected vehicles. This is where we pick up the IoT sensor information from the vehicles and we start doing some predictive stocking, we call it, i.e. stock items based in the right location based on when you expect a failure to happen. This is, and obviously we break this down into 3 phases. There are the quick wins. You can have some quick wins from sorting out the automotive parts segmentation and the master data, but then you have the expanded value period. And finally, if you can deploy those technologies here, then you create a competitive advantage. And this is to capture this opportunity I was talking about earlier on, the huge opportunity after the warranty period. By having the right inventories, you can capture part of that opportunity. And obviously at Syncron, we have hundreds of use cases, the before and after, insufficient inventory, low availability, high stocks, etc., high levels of obsolescence, etc. And then obviously the after is better optimized inventory, better availability, and increased volumes. If you have the part, you will sell it. Okay, hundreds of use cases, and myself and my colleagues will be around later on to discuss some of that in more detail. In a similar way, we have a pricing progressive maturity curve. The next speaker will talk a bit more about that. Again, we have quick wins, expanded value, and competitive advantage. Most organizations here use cost plus. They take the OEM cost, they add the margin to it, and that becomes the selling price. Obviously, that's not the way to do it. There are lots of different pricing technologies and different pricing techniques based on the segmentation of your data. You segment the data, whether it's a competitive or less competitive, a captive item. Also, you need to segment your customers. There are some customers which we call it cherry picking customers. They buy only the things that they want from you, but they don't buy other things. So you need to understand your customer base, your parts, and apply different pricing technologies. So we start with automating the process, increase the visibility, do lots of analytics, then move into more advanced pricing techniques, do all the segmentation. And again, here, there's a lot of AI and machine learning for segmenting your products, segmenting your customers, life cycle pricing, for an old car, new car, different pricing strategies, etc. Then you move into value-based pricing. This is understanding the value your product gives to your customers and linking the price to what we call value drivers. And finally, market-oriented pricing, where you start positioning yourself against different competitors, different types of competitors, whether they're OEM competitors or fake parts, etc. So a maturity curve, and we help customers move into that. It's very difficult to go all the way up, but obviously it's part of the transition. And again, it's all about capturing the market, capturing this opportunity which exists out there for you. And again, we have hundreds of examples of the before and after. And there, the opportunity is huge. You can increase your volumes as well as your profitability when you have the right pricing strategy. I'd like to close by summarizing that the transition to mobility for many of the players will be difficult, will be long. Some of the players will make it, some will not make it. We think new players will come to market. There's a huge future opportunity to be gained, but also currently now there is an opportunity to be gained as well by capturing more the after warranty revenue stream. With this, I would like to close and thank you very much for listening.